Hi guys, and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, and today we're on a 4v4 on the straight to the point map. This is the one with two sea regions and a central land region with two big land masses on the corners, and I'm playing with a Russian deck today, and I'm playing with Stomper, who's I think playing a Red 4 deck, Gluttony, who I think is playing a Russian or a mixed deck, I'm not quite sure, and Jacob, who I believe is playing, let's have a quick look, I think he's playing a North Korean deck. So I'll just get the game underway, get it down to 1 times, get the game started. So I'm first starting off with some land units. Now it does take quite a while for the land units to get into the action, so my teammates are going to have to cope with the enemy until my units arrive, basically. Now I'm also taking up residence over on Constantine over here with my chopper infantry, and Jacob's taking Boris and Leonid with his command units. Gluttony is taking Olga and Nicholas with his units, and Stomper's pushing all the way up to Elena and Fedor, and I'm going to be joining him over towards Fedor as well. So they're going up. Stomper's got a number of these Sokols, which are really good anti-air choppers, together with all of his infantry. And it looks like Gluttony is heading over with some air superiority fighters just to see what's happening. They've got a couple of their own coming in here and a couple of blocks up there as well. We've got a MiG-29 from Jacob as well, so we've got one's been shot down. A load of Celtics. These Celtics or Celtics are really strong anti-air choppers. So it looks like a bit of a battle for the air over there, sort of. I'm not sure who won that one. They've managed to get all their rockets off, and they're having a go at the Celtics as well. Now, as you can see, Stomper is just pulling back his Mi-24Ds. He doesn't want to lose them. They're quite expensive attack choppers, but he's trying to bring forward his anti-air infantry while his Sokols keep these Celtics busy. But these Sokols probably not quite as good at as the Celtics, but are we'll be able to sort of fend them off fairly well. As you can see, he's doing a nice job with those guys. Now they've brought some units over here, which is where sort of region that I'm heading for, so I now can see that they're dropping off some units, some infantry units over into these buildings over here. My units will arrive eventually. I've got 4 BMPTs, 2 Tunguskas, and I've got 2 sets of these BTR ZD Strezes, which are actually decent for fending off any choppers, and as well because they've got these like oops, hold on, let's get that back up. Got these kind of miniguns attached to them, which have got 2450 range against choppers, and a little bit of armour as well. And I've got VDV infantry in those, and the VDV infantry good against other infantry and pretty good against armoured vehicles if they're up close enough as well. So Stomper's managed to land all his units, and he's heading over to try to take control of these areas. I'm not sure if they managed to drop any off. And in the meantime, Gluttony is going to bring a couple of Nadjins up to try to support Stomper up in this bay over here. Now Jacob has pushed up pretty much as far as he can go. He's got some anti-air Pongays in there as well, which are going to engage these if these creep forward. It basically looks like he's almost suiciding these choppers because he's bringing them right over the anti-air of Jacob. So I'm getting up there eventually with my 4 BMPTs. Now I've figured they've just unloaded everything. Now I don't know what infantry they've got in these buildings, but I know they're definitely going to have infantry there. So I split my BMPTs and I'm just going to run them up into these trees to give them a little bit of cover and try to attack the infantry as well as bringing up my VDVs. Now I did push my BMPTs up before my VDVs, and really I should have brought them up together, so you'll see what happens anyway in a moment. In the meantime, on this side we've got some Nadjins coming in. We've managed to get control of Paul, or Gluttony's managed to get control of Paul, and he's snuck a few units over here as well, just to take them a little bit by surprise around the flanks. In the meantime, Stomper continues to harass the enemy and try to, well, not harass them, try to get control of this building. Now, I've come across these guys here, these Justagara. Now, these have actually got decent anti-tank weapons. They're fire support infantry. I couldn't get them up. There's another group here. They're fire support infantry, but they've got these Erics, anti-tank weapons with an AP power of 25, so they're very strong against the armoured units up close, and they've got an accuracy of 60% as well. So I did manage to lose 2 of my BMPTs there, and Jacob luckily saved my ass a little bit by getting his 2 MI8s that he used to transport his units up to shoot their rockets at these guys. Now I do unload my VDVs from their Shrezzets and put them forward. Now these have been battered a bit now. There's only, I think there's 10 in the squad of these guys. They're not the strongest. Yeah, well, they've got close quarters machine guns as well, so they're not too bad. But I've got 2 squads of VDVs, so I should be able to get rid of these 2. I don't know if there's anything in this third building over here, but my BMPTs will come up as well. Got to be careful because these Vollskirmers will still have those Eric things they'll be able to fire. But it looks like I'm winning this battle for this particular small area of buildings over here. Try to bring my BTRs in on the action. They've got a small machine gun they could support, but actually stops there. And Jacob's trying to support with his machine gun, with the machine guns on his armoured vehicles as well. So I managed to get my VDVs right forward into here, so that should stop anything else coming over there, and we just managed to get rid of the last ones there. Now it brings in a block 5 to bomb me, so as soon as I've got control I get bombed. Thus, in fact, it's bombing, having a go at my BMPTs is probably a good move, so it doesn't kill them, just panics them, so I've still got them, they're still alive. Kills 1 of my BTRs there, and that's all. I've still got my Tunguskas back here, remember, to protect against air attacks. So it looks like Jacob's Pongays have been having a field day. They're out of ammo, although they've only got two rockets each anyway, so just needs to get them resupplied. Now the enemy bring out an Oliver Hazard Perry down here. Now this is a big danger to my units here, because this, in fact, there's a Lafayette in there as well. So this Lafayette and this Oliver Hazard Perry, once it gets close enough around this region, will slaughter all of these units in these buildings without any problems whatsoever. So we've got to get rid of these guys really before I can advance. Now I do micro these right back, so I pull these right out when I see these ships coming in and try to hide them in these trees, because they're just a sitting target for the bow guns of these ships. He's also bringing another Oliver Hazard Perry, so it's making a nice push down here with all these ships just to stop me advancing forward up the coast. In the meantime, I've brought in some Buratinos here, as you can see. And I'm going to use these quite soon to try to attack these ships whilst they're in the water. I don't know, no, he can't see these Pongays at the moment, so they're fairly safe because they're not visible. You can see them flashing. Now over on the right, Gluttony's managed to get control of Paul, which is bringing us in a few more points. And he's still supporting Stomper, who's managed just to push a couple of units north of this river now, and he's still got his Iglas and a couple of, oh, that's Jacob actually got some units in the trees there as well. So now the thing I've got to do, or we've got to do now, is to just get rid of these ships before we can manage to push my units back out and forward towards this town and up this coast again. Now I have brought in a couple of Buratinos here, and I'll use them quite shortly. Now they're bringing in yet another Oliver Hazard Perry as well, so they're getting quite a force up here. And yep, Jacob brings in a couple of Fabeos, which have a go and take a few health points out of this Lafayette. So the mistake these guys make here is they bring out all these ships, but they don't bring out any air superiority fighters to fend off anti-ship warfare planes and helicopters, and that is the mistake they really made at this point. Because we were, you know, well, I won't spoil it, but you'll see what happens. But I'm firing my Buratinos now. I've got 2 Buratinos there, firing away. At the Lafayette and the Oliver Hazard Perry. And you can see the Lafayette gets stunned, gets a few hit points, another hit point goes down there. And eventually we manage to sink that with a Buratino, would you believe? So if you ever thought about how you get rid of ships from land, well, you can use fire artillery. It works really, really well. And also Jacob brings in a couple more planes and takes a few and has a go at this Oliver Hazard Perry. It doesn't do any damage this time. So now they've got an Oliver Hazard Perry here and a slightly disabled and panicked Oliver Hazard Perry. He's getting as close as he can just to try to get some shots off, but I bring in some Super Pumas here, and there's another MiG-29 coming in as well. How going to have a go? It's going to shoot the rockets at the same kind of time as my Super Pumas. So this is going to go down. So another Oliver Hazard Perry goes down. I've still got another Super Puma coming in. More Fabeos coming in. Again from Jacob. And again, they still haven't got any air superiority fighters out to fight off those planes. And my Super Pumas get a couple more shots off. There's a load of Leopard 2A4s have appeared on the map. Luckily, Gluttony's here with his Nijans. Although they are bringing their own anti-ship planes out. A couple of Hornets there. To have a go at these Najins, so he will have to pull them back a little bit if he doesn't want to lose them all. He has got some infantry around the back here as well, harassing the enemy. He's actually managed to find one of the CVs. I don't know if he'll manage to get some artillery shots on that. But yeah, it's good when you harass the enemy like this if you can, because it really takes their eye off the ball at the front line. So still got this OHP here. It's Oliver Hazard Perry. I'm going to fire my Buratino again, although the anti-ship warplanes are still going in time after time. Still no air superiority fighters. So my Buratino fires again at this Oliver Hazard Perry. Gets it worried, shaken, panicked. But doesn't actually do it too much damage at this time. So until that's gone, I can't push my units forward. Now they do push a couple of units forward, but we've got quite a lot of... These Pongays are in a little bit of danger, but he's got this unit here. This little machine gun, which is managing to deal quite nicely with this guy over here. More anti-ship planes coming in. Takes more pot shots at the Oliver Hazard Perry. It's now down to 1 life, and once that goes, I can bring my units. I'll bring my BMPT forward actually, just to take some shots at these transport vehicles with their auto cannons, just to help out a little bit. And this Oliver Hazard Perry isn't actually in range of my BMPT, so I can't take any shots at it. They do bring in an LCU truck to try to resupply their ships, but they really would have been better off spending that money on, as I say, on air superiority fighters rather than resupplying their ships. Now they do try to bring in some ships on the other side as well, but Gluttony Bros brought out 3 Zhangus, which should deal with these 2 guys if they haven't got a lot more coming in behind them, of course. So my Super Pumas are back in the fray, so they're going to fire off again a few more of their rockets at that Oliver Hazard Perry. Should take that down now. It's only on 1 health point. Not going to stand much of a chance, to be honest. And that goes down, which means I'm freed up now to push my units forward again. So over here of this little clump, so Stomper's managed to get control of these buildings around the southern end of this bridge. And I'm sure next he's going to start to push forward a little bit. And Gluttony, although these Najins have taken a bit of damage from the anti-ship missiles, they've managed to survive fairly well. And he's still got control of the FOB, although we haven't got any units over the back there anymore. And they have actually managed to take control of Paul, although I feel that's quite temporary, looking at the battle here between 1 Lafayette and 5 or 6 pack ships. That's not going to last too long, I don't think, and down it goes, and Gluttony will retake Paul now. So I'm just going to speed it up just a little bit, just to save a little bit of time in this video. Now, as you can see here, Stomper fires this PHZ-70 into this cluster of buildings for me. I didn't ask him to, he just did it. These PH-70s have actually fire, I'll show you what they are. They are really useful units. I'm definitely going to try these out in my deck at some point. They're got these napalm rocket launcher with a much longer range actually than the Buratinos, and they look like a pretty tasty unit in my opinion. So that basically stunned and basically killed a load of units in there. I've put my VDVs back into position, my BMPTs have come forward, pushed my VDVs forward, and we're going to be taking control of these buildings quite soon. They do bring forward some more units, but these VDVs have really good short range sort of RPG type missiles, and will just slaughter their armoured cars as soon as they come within range, and I can put my BMPTs forward and take out the rest of these units. There's still this LCU sitting here, and I bring in a Sovereign, to try to cover, just like they stopped me going forward. I'm now bringing in a large ship. I've been saving for this for a little while, so bringing a sovereign many to try and cover my units moving up the coast here. And I've still got my stupid pumas as well to fend off any ships that they might spawn in. Now I don't attack this LCU because I'm going to try and capture it, and they do try to escape it or get it out, but my sovereign many is on the way, and hopefully we'll capture this LCU because it's bound to have some supply in, and my units here could certainly do with a bit of supply. I've still got my 2 Tunguskas intact. I've still got some of these Shrezettes to protect me against helicopters, and my VDVs there, I'll just left them in the trees there just so that I can health them up a little bit before I push them forward. And on the right hand side, well Gluttony hasn't really taken Paul. I think he's pushing most of his ships up towards Chariton to just put the pressure on up there, and it's as you were with Stomper currently, although they are still attacking him with these Super Hornets. Now my sovereign many is there's some Justagard, Kustayaga, or however you pronounce that, in there, but they're getting hit from all directions. They last 2 seconds basically. They got hit by MI8, by the sovereign many, and by the VDVs. They're just completely surrounded. As you can see, they get slaughtered. So I managed to get my VDVs just across the bridge, hopefully, and into a building there. Then I can bring the rest of my units forward, including my Tunguskas as well. Now I've also, as you can see, got an air superiority fighter out, this SU-27. And I'm doing sort of what they didn't do. I brought this out just to protect my sovereign many so that I can respond quite quickly. If they send those Hornets over to attack my sovereign many, I'll have this Su-27 ready to attack their Hornets. Now I do manage to capture this LCU, which is very useful. So the first thing it's going to do is health up these VDVs in this building. And as you can see, anything comes close, any choppers or anything come close, this sovereign many is going to take them out. Really awesome anti-air capabilities on these sovereign menys. Now they do bring out a ship or 2, as you can see in the background here. But I've got these Super Pumas. I've got 6 Super Pumas sitting here. They bring out a Congo. And I've got my sovereign many, 6 Super Pumas. And as you can imagine, Jacob has got all of his anti-ship planes still pretty much intact. And you can see over on the right here as well that Gluttony's got control back of Paul, and he's using an air superiority fighter as well in case they bring out those Hornets back over onto this side. It just shows you how important air superiority is when you're trying to use warships with some sort of effectiveness. So all my Super Pumas fire off against this Congo, so it's completely healthed up, and they take out about 6 health points out of that guy before they retreat for another refill. Now my BMPTs, my Shemets, and these VDVs are going to make their way forward, all getting nicely healthed up by this captured LCU, and my Buratinos are reloaded as well. So I'm pretty much ready to start pushing up towards centre. So they've just got this Baku and a Congo in there, and I've got my sovereign many defending. This Pumas are going back for a refill, and I bring in a Django and a Tarantul as well on the left hand side to try and deal with this, and a Muna as well. And I've got my air superiority fighter still flying around protecting my sovereign many. So the Baku goes down, which just leaves the Congo on its own without any air support or anything, so I'm thinking that won't last too long. Super Hornets are still trying to harass Gluttony over here. He's managed to shoot one of them down. There's another Super Hornet going over on the other side. I'm not sure what it's doing. They do bring out a couple more ships, but we've got a pretty sizable navy now over this side, so it looks fairly secure on the right hand side. So my sovereign many still doing battle with this Congo. But I am bringing in some reinforcements, and Stomper's bringing in 3 anti-ship planes there. We'll get some rockets off. Taking it down, taking it down, taking it down, taking it down, maybe. Yep, is it gone? No, it still survived, but it's... oh no, it's gone. It's down. Yeah, so that's been destroyed. And they're actually bringing another Oliver Hazard Perry. The problem here is they should have brought them all in en bloc and just kept them back and pushed them all forward at the same time with air superiority cover. But because they're bringing them in piecemeal, one at a time, they're not supporting one another, so we're able to sort of kind of take them out a little bit easier. And I'll bring in another Django. Got a Tarantul coming up couple of Fabeos coming in there as well from Jacob. And I bring in a Muna for resupply. So here go the Fabeos now, attacking this Oliver Hazard Perry. Missiles away, and oh, they both hit. Beautiful. And more coming in as well. Oh, that's from the Tarantulas actually. That's from the Tarantulas. So the Sovereign gets off a few more shots. In fact, the Sovereign is firing its bow gun now, is it? Yep, it's firing its bow gun. And the Oliver Hazard Perry finally goes down, which means I can start pushing my units forward. Let's speed it up just a little bit. So meanwhile, over on this side, there's our sizable navy, including a Udaloy on this side, going to try to destroy the rest. They're making a last-ditch stand here. They've got a couple of Lafayettes, a Pegasus, but just too many ships here for them to deal with, and anti-ship planes going in as well. So I start to push up with a couple of air superiority fighters. So there's a Tomcat over there. Just got to be a little bit careful of. And in fact, I attack that Tomcat with my Su-27s. Get a couple of shots off. I'm not sure if I took it down there actually. My VDVs have moved forward, heading for these buildings, and my BMPTs are sweeping through these trees, looking for any infantry or anything else that's in the trees that they can take care of with their grenade launchers. And then bring up my anti-air Tunguskas as well. And I just need to sort of health up these VDVs before I move them, and bring my Buratinos forward, and some more infantry that I brought through up in a fresh truck as well. And I've got my Super Pumas sitting here as well, waiting in case they spawn out any more ships. There's the rover command vehicle, immediately taken out by my BMPTs that just go forward a little bit extra. VDVs are in position, Tunguskas are in position in case of any air attacks. And then I decide I just might as well bring in an MI8 with some infantry commands in, and once we're in position here we can go forward and try to take Delta, and then if I can get a command onto Delta, then we've got free reign to attack the Gulf, their main base in Gulf. And also I've put my Zhangu over to the left hand side, the one that's used up most of its ship missiles. It's not really useful anymore, so I'll put it over towards Alpha. I can't see them bringing in a whole load more ships now, especially with my Super Pumas and a Zhangu and a Sovereign sitting, and a Tarantulas there as well with its bow gun. So these have come up a fair distance now. I'm just waiting for my ships to get into position now before I put them forward even more. In fact, I might send a single Sprezhnet forward first just to see if there's anything, just to sort of scout it out and see if there's anything up there, and bring in my Muna in to resupply my VDVs, although it's resupplying the empty LCU, which isn't good. Meanwhile, on this side, well, I think he's making absolutely sure they're not going to spawn any more ships over there. Found the command vehicle, or the command infantry rather, over here, although he is getting shot at by Super Cobras, which I think needs a little bit of help. Perhaps his Udaloy can help over there. Yep, Stomper's bringing that in. Shoot at those choppers. In the meantime, I've pushed forward all my Spectros. There's another command vehicle. They've got no defense up here basically. Past this point they just didn't have any defense, so their command vehicle went down, which then gives me free reign to bring in my own command in my MI8 chopper. So it looks like they've got a fair amount of defences in this area over here, because Stomper hasn't been able to push forward. He has brought a Udaloy in now to try to support his push, and Gluttony is just basically getting control of this whole sea area and the coastal area as well. Are they attacking with a Paladin, or is this guy giving up? I'm not sure. Intruder attacking the Udaloy there, another anti-ship plane coming in, so the Udaloy is actually getting hammered quite a bit. Now if I can get my command infantry out of this chopper, then I can start to spawn units in from Delta. So we've now got Delta, and I've got a choice. I can either attack across here. There's two bridges basically. There's a bridge here, and there's a bridge here, and there's also this bridge here, but I'm not going to go all the way around there. So either I'm going to be going around the road here, or I'm going to be going across the mountains to attack across here. So the first thing I do, I just throw these VDVs forward. There's actually some assault engineers there. I don't know where they come from. They must have been hidden in here somewhere, but we've got to be careful with this Buratino. There's only one guy left. There's a Bradley. My MI8. Oh, was that the Tarantula actually attacked that? I've got an MI8 here. Should take out those assault engineers. That took me a little bit by surprise. I just managed to save my Buratino there. So the first thing I'll do, I'll bring in a bit more anti-air. Got 4 Strelas. Got my Tunguskers there because I don't want them bringing any sort of aircraft in to attack anything that's coming up here. Now I'll bring these in to protect what I'm going to bring out next. And if you saw the title to this video, you probably guess what I'm going to do next. But basically, first thing is get control of this little group of houses here. There's nothing there, so they're just able to walk in and take control of those units. And then I bring in 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 9, 29, basically all, it's about 4, 8, 12, 12, 4, 8, 16, about 32, 36, I think it's 36 T-34s. And also bring in a whole load of Afghanskis, and the idea is to just group everything together. You can see all the Afghanskis there, 4, 8, 16 of them as well. And I'm just going to rush them straight to Gulf towards their base just to try to finish it. I mean, I could creep forward the units been using, you know, BMPTs and infantry, and take things out as I go along. But I don't want to do that. I want to end the game, so I'll bring in pretty much a load of spam units. These T-34s, I think they cost 10 each. The Afghanskis aren't too expensive either. How much are they? They're 20 each. Are these T-34s? Yeah, just 10 each. They've got a machine gun on, these T-34s, so they can rush forward firing the machine guns. I can stop them if I want. The main gun doesn't do anything. I don't think it's got any stabilizer at all, so it won't do anything on the move, but the machine gun will fire. And if I want to stop them and firing anything, I can also bring in 4 more BMPTs. So I've got air cover from the Afghanskis, got a load of T-34s, they're on their way, and a bunch of BMPTs as well. So here we go, towards the base. So the idea is to go all the way up here. I do stop them for a quick refuel, a few of them. And there's some artillery going in as well from one of the players. It's actually heading for their spawn point by the looks of it. So some of the T-34s take a slightly different route. I'm not sure why they did that, but they decide to do that. And my Afghanskis are actually in front now with some of the T-34s behind. So I'm expecting some action when they hit this region around here. They are bringing some units up. There's a Leopard 2A5 there. So let's get in one of these front tanks. So we're heading towards their base now. Spotting a few things on the way. One of the tanks blows up. Some more stuff over there. So you can see they immediately start firing the machine guns at anything that come across. Another tank gets blown, so ooh, another one overtakes me. So I'm still not the one in front, so I'm still not the one that's going to get targeted. There's a chopper, there's a VAB up there firing, but you can see the amount of fire that's going in. My tank's been hit and explodes, but there's plenty more to go in. There's some legions here with a little, they've got some anti-tank guns they can fire off, but and there's a tornado and a phantom here. Now this phantom drops a whole load of napalm and pretty much stops my spam, but I quickly micro these guys and pull them to one side and put them on fast move so that they can fire and shoot at anything. I've still got all these Afghanskis over here that have come out of the forest and head towards, and there's a whole load of artillery coming in. I'm not sure who's firing that. Is that from ships or is that actually... oh, it's land-based artillery. It's these guys, these PHLs from Gluttony. Just brought a load out and he's firing in there. He must have seen what I was doing. And basically I just don't fast move this forward. I attack these, move these forwards now. There can't be a lot left. My Afghanskis, I'm thinking, well, the Afghanskis aren't very strong, but they might as well just push forward as best they can. There's some flamer tank over there, but they can't have a lot left. Now T-34 is now creeping forward en masse. Afghanskis tend to take out any choppers that they decide to bring out. There's a Rover CV there, spotted by this guy. So as soon as something fires upon that, It should be a good game. So the Afghanskis encroaching. Here they go. In fact, they're firing at the Marines. Something fire on this rover, please. Another load of napalm comes in. Last desperate effort. So the rover's getting fired upon now by these T-34s, and it goes down. Oh, then there's another CV somewhere. My apologies. So there is one more CV which they are either hiding or they are moving. I'm not sure which. But basically the job in Gulf is done. The CV's down. They've no longer got any spawn points, so they can't bring any units in any longer. So now it's just a matter of finding their final CV. We'll just speed up the game just a little bit. And there it must be in this building over here somewhere, because they've just basically replaced it. There it is. They've spotted the CV. It's just in these buildings here. Just there. So as soon as as SU-22 is coming in, they're going to bomb the hell out of those buildings. Who's that? Stomper. So Stomper should finish the game off, kill this command infantry off, bombs away, and there you go. GG. Thanks guys for playing. Thanks to you guys for watching, and I think the main take-home point in that game is always have air superiority when you're bringing in your warships so that you can protect them against anti-ship aeroplanes. So thanks for watching guys. Please do comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next game.